The Environmental Protection Agency will visit Louisville to assess that Highview home filled with explosive materials. In a public meeting last night, city officials said the EPA will weigh in before the city moves forward with a controlled burn of that house. And now we're learning there may be another way to take it down. Our John Charlton explains.
We are not going to move forward with any plan until I am satisfied that it can be done in the absolute safest possible way.
With packed pews at Highview Baptist Church, Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg and his panel of department heads assured residents that conditions have to be right to burn down 6213 Applegate Lane.
We want a nice clear day, low humidity, obviously light winds.
The plan is for the fire to be so intense, so hot that the housed hazardous and explosive chemicals would be incinerated and the house would collapse on itself. Last week, the mayor said it was the only option because all the junk hoarded in the house made it too dangerous, too difficult to maneuver inside and remove the chemicals. However, at this community hearing on the planned controlled burn, we heard for the first time if
and when potentially this burn does take place.
That's because the city is in touch with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. And Monday, WHAS11 found out the city had its first direct conversation with the EPA to discuss alternatives to setting the house on fire.
An alternative is, a contractor coming in and actually methodically taking things out one by one in the house if a contractor will do that.
Doing that will take longer, and before that, we're told getting the EPA on site to assess is going to take some time. But that right time could also take some time.
We don't have a target date, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever that is.
John Charlton, WHAS 11, on your side.
Residents and businesses near Applegate Lane were invited to attend that meeting in person. Many came with questions and concerns about their safety.
She's in her 80s. If something happens to the house, if there's some damage to the house, who's going to cover to take care of that? That's my main purpose.
How that's going to affect the fire, where it's going to do, what's going to do to the air. We're just kind of concerned about that.
And then,
city officials say the air monitoring will be a top priority before, during, and after a controlled burn, if that's what happens. Right now, there is no exact timing when it would happen, but officials say it won't happen anytime soon. And when a date is set, residents will be given a 48-hour notice. If they need shelter and food, resources will be provided. And the homeowner, Mark Hibble, faced a Louisville judge on Monday. He's been indicted on charges of burglary and wanton endangerment. Hibble remains in Metro Corrections on a $50,000 bond. A man convicted of killing 3 men at a Fern Creek restaurant in 2020 will serve a life sentence. Michael Rhines pleaded guilty to 3 counts of murder earlier this year. And yesterday, Judge Mitch Perry sentenced him to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years. Police say Rhines walked up to the patio of Bungalow Joe's and shot 3 customers. 48-year-old William Smallwood, 28-year-old Torian Hudson, and 24-year-old Stephen Head were all killed. A grand jury indicted a man in connection to a deadly shooting outside a Jefferson Community and Technical College building downtown. It happened just hours after that mass shooting at Old National Bank on April 10th. Krishawn Philpott is charged with complicity to murder, assault, and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. 24-year-old Shavon Moore was killed and another woman was hurt in that shooting near the JCTC campus at 8th and Chestnut. Philpott's bond is set at $500,000. A suspended Manual High School football coach is out on bond today and on home incarceration. That's Donnie Stoner, who pleaded not guilty to 20 counts of sex abuse related to allegations he abused a 17-year-old student at his home and at the school. He appeared in court Monday. A JCPS spokesperson told us he's been reassigned to administrative duties away from students. Police say a gang that specializes in stealing Kias and Hyundais around Louisville is 3 people short this week after multiple arrests. It's a crime surge we've been following on WHAS 11. Christina McNaughton, Trayvon Moss, and Joseph Turner were all arrested Sunday night by police and PRP. According to arrest citations, the LMPD's air unit spotted a stolen car near Stewart Drive. That's when officers found other stolen cars on that property, some being dismantled for parts. All 3 are charged with engaging in organized crime. Now, according to LMPD, gangs like this have led to more than 1,900 Kias and Hyundais stolen just this year. That's almost 10 cars a day. The old LMPD headquarters in downtown Louisville is coming down. That's demolition underway on the building at 7th and Jefferson. It was originally built in 1955, expected to last about 65 years. The new LMPD headquarters won't be far. It's 6th and Chestnut in the vacant AT&T building. Back in March, Mayor Craig Greenberg allocated an additional $14 million to speed up those renovations. JCPS is also moving forward with a plan on how it will abide by Kentucky's new law on gender and health education. Last night, the district passed a new policy that'll keep it compliant with Senate Bill 150. The law bans discussions on gender expression, sexual orientation, and gender identity in school settings. It also allows teachers to ignore students' preferred pronouns and restrict bathroom access. Our Connor Steffen and photojournalist Emma Gefter covered last night's meeting, sharing what this new policy includes.
I'm still virulently angry at everyone in Frankfurt who has put us in this position and who are using our children as political footballs.
A reluctant 5-2 vote coming from the Jefferson County School Board tonight, approving a JCPS policy needed to implement the law aimed at transgender students, SB 150.
One of the most challenging issues that we have faced, and our goal is to support our students without doubt.
The board adopted a third draft to the JCPS policy, which includes a statement of concern. It describes the district's view that SB 150 is, quote, discriminatory and creates, quote, barriers to access and, quote, equal education opportunity for students. The district included exceptions for students diagnosed with gender dysphoria, suggesting they could receive a special accommodation, including protections against misgendering and approval of the use of bathrooms tied to their gender identity.
I'm a bilingual associate instructor at Western High School, and I'm certainly not going to comply with this.
But even with concessions, JCPS lawyers acknowledge this policy only protects a fraction of trans students.
It limits the protections that trans youth will have and gender nonconforming youth will have. Not all students are going to be able to get a gender dysphoria diagnosis, and they're not going to be able to be protected by this.
More than a dozen people attending the meeting tonight scrutinized the board's decision to implement SB 150, saying it sends a message to state lawmakers.
And they're not going to stop because we capitulate, because we go along with the laws that they pass. No, that is going to embolden them. And what's going to be next?
They have this message for trans students who will head back to school in 2 days.
Yeah, my message is that we're here, that don't feel isolated, don't give up, reach out for help, find someone that you can trust, look for us in the community, reach out to our organizations. There's a lot of organizations, there's 18 different organizations that have been sponsoring this campaign, so you're not alone, and reach out for help.
Connor Steffen, WHAS11 on your side.
That school board said guidance will be distributed to all JCPS principals today, with the policy taking effect immediately.